listening to Lite FM with me, Yasmin, and it is time now on the Lite Breakfast to live by design. What is all that about? Well, I'm not going to tell you because I have the expert in the studio. It's Mr. Billy Kueek, trainer and speaker and an expert in NLP. Let me read this out. Neuro-linguistic programming.
Wow, what's that?
Yeah. Well, can you put it into words that I would understand?
Like human language?
Yes.
Okay, my mom for the longest time thought it's got to do with something about computer and programming.
Oh!
I'm still trying to make her understand we can program the human mind. So really what NLP is about using the language of the mind to make changes inside of us.
Okay,
all
and
right.
that is accessible for everybody.
That is accessible for everybody, yes.
Okay, and why we have Billy talking about this is because Billy Kueek is the only NLP master trainer in the world who is accredited by the American Board of NLP and the NLP University in California.
That's right.
Well done. Very, very impressive. But of course, we only get the best on Lite events, so that's how it works. Okay, so you're talking about changing or programming your brain so that you can live the life that you want?
That's correct. Lots of time, two parts of the brain, one of which is what we know, we call it conscious, and the other one is the unconscious or the subconscious.
Okay.
So what happens a lot of times is when we consciously want something or think something is the right thing to do, we end up doing something else.
Oh, okay.
Like if in the seminars that I do during the breaks, I tend to get people who come to me and, start off with questions, and it always sounds something like that. They go like, hey, Billy, can I ask you a question? I go like, yeah, sure, what is it? They go, a friend of mine has this problem.
And it's them, right?
So it's always their friends, yeah. So if I'm saying something or a scenario that you don't like, then I'm talking about your friends, not you.
So are you talking about putting some sort of order into your desire?
Yeah, we're talking about programming. We're talking about redesigning, resetting patterns inside of us so that they get manifested outside of us.
And can one do this at any age? That's an important question.
Oh, yes, of course. I wouldn't say
You're
any
never too old to learn.
You don't, but you don't start them too young either.
Oh, okay.
See, a lot of parents try to control what their kids should do, shouldn't do, and all that. And my take is always the only young ones, and let them do whatever they want to do. So we don't start to try to control or program too early. But it is important to know that the programming happens all the time. So really, as parents, as adults, we ought to be more careful and more strategic with what we are.
We have the power to direct, right? Okay, I was reading a little bit, and you have some very long word things like visual, auditory, kinesthetic.
So back to NLP, and that's related to it. Now, neuro refers to how our brain think, and so part of NLP studies how our brain think, how our brain goes about doing what it does, that produces result outside of us. So when our brain think, we pretty much go according to the 5 senses we prefer to use. So for people who prefer to use a sense of sight more, they prefer to think in pictures.
Okay.
So we call that visual.
Okay.
Or it's like at any point in time you think about something, you can get a picture inside your head.
It's also easier to understand.
Yeah.
That way, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
And then you hear sounds. So we sometimes recall conversations that we've heard before, things we want to say, and we do that inside our brain.
Okay.
All right. Kinesthetic simply refers to feelings.
Feelings. Touching.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, touching is one, just emotional feelings and all of that as well.
Okay.
So it's just smell, taste, touch grouped together. We just call them feeling-oriented people.
So everything, all this has to come together.
It doesn't have to come together. We all have a preference over these 3 modes, but we all can access the different modes.
Oh, okay.
So what I'm saying is for people who are more visually oriented, the natural thinking pattern would be having pictures in their mind.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine actually. In fact, it's a lot of fun to play with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going to learn how you can direct your brain so that you can get what you want and not stand in your own way.
Pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, when we come back with Billy Kueek on the Lite. Living by design, we make the choices, and this is how we get to succeed. And we're talking to Mr. Billy Kueek, who's a trainer and a speaker and a specialist master trainer in NLP. Okay, Billy, if we want to, say, for example, model ourselves after somebody, everybody has a hero, right? How does that work?
I think primarily two things, but within the two things is a lot of things. So we start with physiological strategies, and then we look at psychological strategies.
Another long word, you see.
Yeah. Okay, so what that basically means is if we want to achieve something and we know of a model, someone who's actually achieved it, we need to know what this person do exactly, and that's the physical strategy. So what this person does that we can replicate, that we can also do.
So it's a little more research. It's not just a matter of saying, oh, I want to be like that person, and then it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you got to know how the person go about doing what they do in order to achieve that. And that's the physical part.
Okay.
The best role model would be the ones that you can really have an interaction with, because then you can talk to them, you can ask them questions, you can find out what goes on in their mind.
Okay.
What kind of thinking strategies do they embrace, do they believe in order that they produce the results outside.
Do you think it's important to have somebody like that?
I think it's important to have someone like that, but more than that, we're probably not going to find a perfect person that we model everything. So, maybe having different role models in different areas actually help us to get the best strategy from.
And it sounds like you're saying to be realistic as well. So there's no point saying, I want to be like Bill Gates, because there's not even a hope on earth that you're ever going to bump into Bill Gates. Or people might say, I want to be like Bill Gates. After all, he didn't finish university, so why should I? You know?
But I also like the part that you say about modeling yourself. So beyond looking at how other people do that, it's also to examine ourselves to find out what is it that we're good at, that we can integrate. And then, who knows, we may just end up achieving more than whatever the role model has achieved.
So it's not just somebody else's strengths and skills, but your own as well. That's good. So it's like a value add.
Self-modeling.
Yeah, a value add. Okay. And you were saying also something about limiting belief. There was something I said earlier, and you said you're limiting your beliefs. Now, what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I wrote a quote that says, if your belief system is not liberating, they are limiting.
Okay.
So beliefs are thoughts that comes on in our mind. They become our roadblocks, and they can become permissions as to what we can achieve and what we cannot do.
For example?
So to us, it all starts with the belief. Now, if you don't think you can achieve that, then obviously your effort is going to be compromised, and then your results will turn out negative. But what I do find amazing is people somehow get some kind of satisfaction proving themselves correct in the wrong way.
Oh dear, okay.
So I get people coming to me and say, well, I know I can do this, but since you said so, but Billy, because you persuade me about this, and okay, I'm just going to do it, but I'm going to show you, actually, I cannot. And with that mindset, they now go about doing what they do, and when they don't get it, they'll come back to me and say, see, I was right, I cannot do that.
Wow. So you're just, like I said, standing in your own way.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's like imposing limits on yourself.
Okay, now this is not something that is just going to be exercised if you want to be like Bill Gates, for example, but in every aspect of your life, even a small little thing that you want to do, or you have a goal or an ambition. For example, I want to lose weight. If you want to lose weight.
You don't need to, but okay.
3 kilos. That's something that everybody at some point in their life, almost everybody I know except for olive oil maybe, seems to want to do. I don't know why. I know it's social conditioning, cultural conditioning, and all the magazines and advertising. Programming. Yes, there you are. Aha, I got it. Could you help somebody to lose weight if they wanted to?
Oh, yes, definitely. Definitely. I mean, if someone else can do this, there's no reason why you cannot do that.
Okay, we will find out how after the break. Welcome back. This is Live by Design on the Lite Breakfast with Billy Kueek, our NLP master trainer, the only one in the world, mind you, who's been accredited by two bodies, the American Board of NLP and the NLP University in California. So we're very actually honored to have you with us, Billy.
Thank you. It's my honor to be here.
Thank you for taking the time. Okay, back to losing weight.
Hey.
How do you condition your mind or do the NLP thing?
I think the first thing is to give yourself the ultimate purpose as to why you want to do that.
Oh, why you want to lose weight? Okay.
Yeah, so this is about being honest with yourself, you know.
Okay.
Are you doing this for your own purpose? Is it going to serve you in as far as your self-image is concerned, therefore self-esteem, therefore self-confidence? Is it health? Or let's be honest about it, is it just so that we become more attractive in the eyes of other people?
And are all those acceptable?
They're all acceptable. I think we all make our own reasoning, but my take is focusing on the result, and so finding the reasons that really support the result.
Okay.
If we know why we want to do something, then we create the compelling force within ourselves to want to go about doing that, because that's what we really want.
Should we write it down?
Writing down is definitely one of the things we recommend. In fact, don't just write it down. Write it down onto somewhere where you will see it every day.
On the fridge door?
Because if it's... I would put a lock on the fridge. Yeah, but definitely write it, somewhere that you see every day. Like what I do is I go around with a money clip wallet. And if I write a goal, I will have it right in front, because every day I have to open up the wallet, and that's the first thing I'll see.
What a good idea!
When it's out of sight, it is out of mind. There you go. Okay, so write it down. Definitely write it down.
So you've got your reasons for why you want to lose weight, right? Your goals. And then what next?
Write it down, state the outcome, and state it in the positive. So you don't say, I don't want to be fat. You say, I want to weigh, or I
want
weigh.
to be gorgeous.
Yeah, I weigh this, this kilo by this time.
Okay.
So you set it with a timeline.
Oh, a timeline. You have to have a timeline.
Yeah, have a timeline, because otherwise you may end up achieving it at age 85. And that would have...
See, I'm slim now. Nobody cares. Okay. Yeah.
So definitely write it down. Write it down in a positive way. And then, try visualizing it. So we talk about the visual, auditory, kinesthetic. So this is when you create a mental picture in your mind. And it's not just about creating the mental picture of you looking at that desired weight, but intensify what we call the submodalities, another term.
Oh no. What's that mean?
I know we like all these terms and all that because it makes us feel really intelligent.
Yeah, but it's science as well, and science has all these long words. So, submodalities.
So submodalities, we think in terms of a television set, we have got different resolution, we have got different sizes, we have got different technology that goes behind it. So we have the LCD, we got the plasma, we got now the latest LED. Obviously, the picture of the LED is more intense, and the bigger the TV is, like a cinema screen, the more lifelike it is.
Okay.
So this is when you need to pay attention to how your brain creates that visual image and then intensify it.
Okay.
So play around with the color settings, and you get to control it just by thinking about it.
Or you take a photo of yourself, your fat self, and then you Photoshop it until you look perfect. And then you put it on your fridge door and say, I want to look like that.
That's another way to do it, for visual purposes. That's a good suggestion for people who have difficulty trying to change their visual.
Okay, so you can look like this,
There you go.
So that's the visual, okay?
Right.
And when we come back, we will talk about all the rest of the stuff you need and how you can start your journey. Welcome back to Live by Design on the Lite Breakfast with Billy Kueek and me, Yasmin Yusuf. The Kueek man is here. Okay, we have set our goal. We want to lose weight. We have a picture in our mind of what we want to look like, or else we have photoshopped a photo of ourselves and stuck it on the fridge door or in our wallet, as Billy recommended. But you said earlier that we should be a little more realistic and have somebody... So you might have a friend who has lost weight and done it successfully.
Right.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So these are people we can model after. Find out their physical strategies, exactly what they do, what actions they take, what they eat, and then also find out what are their mental strategies, what goes on inside of them, how do they go about motivating themselves.
Okay, this is a question I want to ask you.
Yeah.
What is it going to do? Okay, if we want to lose weight, normally we go on a diet, right? We look at a diet, we make our meals according to the diet, and we have our photograph of what we want to look like. But what does the mental focus or changing the way we think, how does that help? Is that for discipline?
To put it very simply, focus on what you want and not what you don't want.
Okay.
See, people are on diet, they know exactly what they should not eat. And yet, every time the food is presented in front of them, guess what happens? I'll start tomorrow.
We're Malaysian, the food here is so good.
Oh, yeah.
I'll start tomorrow.
I need to lose 3 kilos now. So what happens is, you really have to integrate your both conscious and the unconscious part of you.
Yeah.
Conscious being that you know you're not supposed to eat it, but the unconscious being the one that controls your body. Right? So a few things that you need to do. One is developing that outcome and then having that visual representation. If you could add sound into it, that would be wonderful. Sounds like, for example, when I have a mental image of myself being that slim, looking that attractive, feeling that good with all the positive feelings inside of me. And people go, wow, you look really great now. You lost a lot of weight. All right, hear the sounds. Hear the sounds as well, because that's how our brain think. And then now with that visual image that's so real, the sounds that you hear, feel the feelings. Of being in that situation.
You know what? I'm going to take you on a golf course with me, because I think you're going to be able to help my golf game as well.
Okay, well, NLP a lot of times has been used in golf. Tiger Woods has an NLP coach that actually helped coach him to develop peak performance mind state. Because I don't think anybody can really coach Tiger Woods on his physical strategies the way he does it.
Yeah,
because he does it better than everybody else.
So when you're talking about making your goals and your own desire must be strong enough, and you have to be positive, as you said. You know, throw away all the negative. Don't say I don't. Or,
there you go.
You know. Then you have the other side, which is the subconscious.
There
right?
you go. So let me just backtrack a little. Now, when I say creating the goals and all the nice things and finding out the reasons and all that, it's also important to find your primary preferred motivational patterns.
Okay.
Now, if you have tremendous difficulty getting started, then you may want to give yourself the reasons as to why you don't want to be in your current state. Because that creates pain motivation, which is a great push.
Okay.
So life is painful, not painful enough, that's when we don't move. But when it's painful enough, we kickstart. But don't let the pain prolong.
Okay.
Switch it to pleasure as soon as you get started.
For example, losing weight scenario.
So it's like, it's painful when I hear people talking to me about my weight, and
painful when I look in the mirror.
I look into the mirror. Painful when I see how other people look at me.
Okay. What is the liberating belief in this scenario?
I think the liberating belief is to believe that you can do something. Just another quote that I've written: if you say you cannot, then you got to know that can comes before not.
And on that note, we shall end it, and we'll see you again next week, Billy. Thank you so much for joining us. Billy Kueek, our trainer and speaker, our NLP master on the Lite Breakfast. So I hope you're full of positive vibes and ready to change the world, or if not the world, at least yourself. And Billy will be back next week. If you have a question for Billy, something that you'd like to find out how to do, you can log on to our website, www.litefm.com.my.